Hey, what's up everybody? It's TheHyphenate here, and today we're going to talk about the Sony a6400 versus the Sony a7 III and which camera you should get. So I've been getting asked this a lot, and it's because both cameras are extremely comparable and both deliver amazing quality. Though they can both deliver on video and photo, they do have some significant differences that might benefit one shooting scenario over another. So I'm not going to do a full detailed review on both cameras and break down every single feature that each camera has, but I am going to go over some of the basic comparable features and what will work better for which type of environments. Before I break down which camera you should get for different types of shooting, let me first go over some key notes. The Sony a6400 is smaller and it's a crop sensor body, so it has a 1.5 times crop. Whereas the Sony a7 III is a full frame sensor. The Sony a7 III does have more buttons, it has a bigger battery that does last longer, and it has a joystick. The Sony a6400 does not have internal image stabilization. However, it does have the latest tech of Sony autofocus for both video and photo. Both of them have a 6K sensor, so both of them produce a very clear and sharp image. The Sony a6400 has a flip-up screen, so you can actually see the screen from the front of the camera, whereas the Sony a7 III only has a tiltable screen that can only be seen from the back of the camera. The Sony a6400 has no record limit on video, whereas the Sony a7 III has a 30-minute record limit. So when it hits that limit, it'll stop and you'll have to manually start recording again by pressing the button on the camera. Both cameras work really well in low light, and both of them handle noise very well when you're cranking up the ISO. However, the Sony a7 III does work better in low light because it's full frame, so it allows more light, allowing you to lower the ISO and get a cleaner image. The Sony a7 III has a headphone jack to monitor audio, and it also has a USB Type-C connector. Now for starters, the Sony a6400 is $1,000 for the body alone, and the Sony a7 III is $2,000 for the body alone. Though the a6400 is cheaper, both cameras are some of the top cameras on the market right now. The a6400 on crop sensor bodies and the a7 III on full frame bodies. And both cameras have Sony's latest color science, so it actually reproduces color a lot better than previous Sony cameras, and it looks very good. So now let's talk exactly about which camera you should get and why. If you're doing only photography or primarily photography, then I would recommend the Sony a7 III. There's a full frame look that really pops, and it's mostly because of the bigger sensor allowing more light and creating a more shallow depth of field. So the subject will pop more and the background will be blurred more. There are more faster lenses available on full frame cameras than there are on APS-C crop sensor bodies. So that will definitely be beneficial for portrait photography. Also, the internal image stabilization will drastically help because any lens you put on the Sony a7 III will be stabilized, which will reduce camera shake blur. And because of that, it allows you to shoot at lower shutter speeds handheld. Another benefit on photography with the a7 III is that there are a lot more custom buttons. Photography and photo shoots generally operate at a way faster pace than doing video. And because of that, you need to be able to change settings on the fly pretty quickly. Having more custom buttons allows you to make those changes rapidly. On top of that, the a7 III also has a joystick that allows you to move the focus point or the focus area, which is super beneficial for photo shoots because the subject is generally moving. There are multiple subjects sometimes, and you want to be able to move that instantly without having to go through the menu. Now on video, things operate a little more slowly, usually. So you have time to actually make changes because you're getting the scene ready, you're getting the actors ready, and usually you do multiple takes, so your settings don't really change as frequently. So again, for photo, get the a7 III. Now, if you're doing video and you're filming for long periods of time, whether it's interviews, podcasts, full day events such as weddings, quinces, sweet 16s, or if you're doing selfie YouTube videos, then I definitely recommend the a6400. The a6400 does not have a video recording limit. It can record as long as the camera has battery and the memory card has space. The a7 III stops recording every 30 minutes, and a lot of times if you're not paying attention and the camera stops, you're gonna start missing some shots. This has happened to me multiple times. I film myself on these videos and a lot of times I go past the 30 minutes. So either I gotta put a timer on my phone to let me know that it's about to be 30 minutes, or I have to just kind of check and make sure that everything is still on time. That record limit is a drag. Now the battery on the a7 III is larger and lasts longer. You can get about 2 hours and 20 minutes of continuous filming on one full charge of battery. On the a6400, you only get about an hour and 20 minutes at a full charge. But both cameras do work on external power, so you can actually put a battery bank and connect that to the USB, and you will actually have more time than just what the battery allows on the camera. So if you have a large enough power bank and a large enough memory card, you can actually film for hours at a time. So again, for continuous long video shooting, I recommend the a6400. If you're doing video and or photo more handheld and you're not really shooting with tripods or gimbals, then I recommend the Sony a7 III because it has internal image stabilization, and that will help either reduce jittery movement or also reduce camera shake blur. So if you do a lot of moving street photography, or if you're doing a lot of run and gun filming and you're mostly handheld, the a6400 might not work for you because there's too much shake not having image stabilization. But if you're filming or taking photos with tripods, sliders, or gimbals, then the a6400 will definitely do the job. Now, when it comes to vlogging, I recommend the a6400. The reason for that is that the camera is lighter. The lenses for the a6400 are lighter and smaller as well. And it actually has a flip-up screen. Now, the flip-up screen does end up being right where the hot shoe mount is, which is generally where people put their microphones. But there's an accessory that you can purchase for less than 20 bucks that actually puts a cold shoe mount off to the other side of the camera so that you can put your microphone and the flip-up screen is not covered. Being able to see yourself, having a lighter weight is definitely essential for vlogging because you're walking around holding a camera for hours at a time, sometimes going out throughout the day, and it's gonna get tiring if you're on the a7 III with one of their bigger lenses. Plus, if you want to see yourself, then you have to attach a monitor on an a7 III. And when you attach a monitor, you actually lose the face tracking capability unless you're recording to an external source. A good vlogging setup would be the a6400 with the 16mm f1.4 Sigma lens with that adapter, putting the microphone off to the side like maybe a small Rode shotgun mic, or being on a small handheld tripod or a small lightweight gimbal. Also, I would go with the a6400 if you're doing more casual travel, video, or photo. Pretty much all the pros I mentioned on vlogging are applicable to casual travel. Now, when it comes to more cinematic video, music videos, documentaries, commercials, films, I would choose the a7 III. The full frame look with that internal image stabilization really does help make a very cinematic style. So if you're filming more high-end video productions, I would recommend the a7 III. Now, when it comes to landscape photography or time lapses, then I would actually go with the a6400. Normally, you shoot with tripods, electric sliders, or gimbals, and because of that, you don't have to worry about not having IBIS, internal image stabilization. And also, you're generally shooting at a higher f-stop, so you don't really need that shallow depth of field. So those are what I think are the most popular shooting scenarios. If you have any other shooting types or scenarios that you want to know which camera would be better for, go ahead and drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you out. Now, although each camera has certain advantages over the other, if you use proper settings, skill, and technique, you'll be able to produce amazing results on any of the shooting scenarios with either camera. Sometimes you might just have to add some accessories or do a little bit more work. Really, it comes down to what camera works best for you. Hopefully, I was able to help you guys out a bit. If you guys are interested in getting either of the cameras, I have links in the description where you can purchase them from either B&H Photo or from Amazon. It doesn't change the price that you get it at, but it does help this channel. Please make sure to drop a like on the video, drop a comment below if you have any more questions, and please make sure to subscribe. I have a lot more videos coming soon. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.